Yo, and welcome to a month in review, where I talk about all the notable games that I've played over the past month. So watch out for spoilers for all these games. After playing Animal Crossing for a while, I needed something equally as lighthearted, so I decided on Untitled Goose Game, which I've kinda wanted to play since I first heard about it a couple months ago anyway. As the title suggests, you play as an untitled goose. I named him George for my own benefit, but that's just my own lore. So in the titled Untitled Goose Game, you cause foul misadventures like having this guy hammer his own hand, harassing children, and making this dude spit out his tea, which I assume is very expensive. So far, I've only played through the 4 areas that I've shown, but it's a pretty chill and laid back puzzle game that appeals to my male fantasy of being an aquatic fowl that makes people have bad days. The different puzzles that you try and solve all range from simple and straightforward stuff like putting a rake in a lake to having a lady dress up a bust. Now, I don't know what is making George want to do these things, but his creativity is impeccable for a goose, and honestly makes him such an interesting and dynamic character. Being able to control most of the important functions of a goose is way more fun than it sounds. And while it looks like they didn't include the best part of a goose, its horrific and cursed mouth. Because I can still honk as much as I want to, I guess I can let that part go. All of the controls of the game are fun and all, but I still don't know exactly what this does. As far as I've seen, it doesn't really scare people or anything like that, and I've only used it for one thing, but it is nice to just stun on the featherless sometimes. Something that I thought was borderline disrespectful though, was that after you get this snazzy little bow, the game tries to take it away from you, but you're not gonna stop this dapper dude from flexing on everybody. And just look at George's smug little face. Oh man, this game's great. Now, after all that carefree and happy gameplay, I needed a little more simulated violence in my life, so I decided to pick up FighterZ again, or FighterZ if you want to be wrong. I honestly thought that Ultra Instinct Goku was coming soon, but
so that was a fucking lie.
So instead I bought Gogeta, the best fusion, and got back to giving out the hands. Since the last time I played this, which was months ago at this point, they've added a bunch of new features. Now you can pick what assist you want each character to have, which is great, because if it ain't a beam attack, you can have it back. They added a bar at the top of the fight screen to see who's winning at any given point, which is cool I guess, but I can definitely see when I'm getting my ass beat, so it's not really that important to me. There's also this boost you get on your last character, but I don't know the specifics honestly. There's a bunch more technical stuff that I'm not smart enough to really talk about, but they added little hit in a spring outfit, so that's cool. I could have sworn that I saw a video saying that hitboxes were adjusted so that characters like Baby Goku and Krillin weren't just under everyone's fist, but I don't really know if that was implemented yet or not. But again, I'm not a technical guy when it comes to fighters, so this is all anecdotal. Aside from that, I didn't really notice much difference in the gameplay. It still feels like the same game that I first played in 2018, and that's a good thing. I still think that this is in the top 3 fighting games that I've ever played. I'm not an Evo guy, so that's not really saying much. But it's still really easy to pick up and play since most characters have the same combo types at least. And actually learning the ins and outs of the characters is great for people that want a little bit more out of their fighting games. Moving on. So this is really the first Kingdom Hearts I've ever played more than 2 hours of. Yeah, I'm one of those types of people who technically started with the third. I mean, I played like 30 minutes of Kingdom Hearts 1 and like an hour of Kingdom Hearts Card Battle or whatever that game is called. Yeah, that one. So with this being my first real game in the series, what have I thought about it so far? Well, the first thing that I'll say about this game is that the levels are way longer than I thought they would be. Sure, some part of that is because I tend to search everything to find things, but I would have never expected to play through the Hercules level for an hour. This can be seen as both a good and bad thing, but honestly right now I'm erring on the side of it being more negative, but maybe the other levels are more like 30-minute experiences. I knew that the cutscenes were going to be long just from what I've seen of the series, but I never would have expected to wait 25 minutes before I got to the first level. The combat is, how do I say this, easier than Sunday morning. What kind of reference is that? What are you, 70? Dude, I want to get. Yeah, you're right. This game is easier than upsetting white kids over Xbox Live.
I love it.
Now again, that can be seen as a good or bad thing. It's simple enough that you can feel powerful and get through fights to get right back to the batshit story that in all honesty, even after spending years watching YouTubers try to explain, I still don't understand. But on the other hand, you don't really feel like you're struggling. And sure, that's why they have difficulty options. But for someone that is a first-time player, like it says right here, it still feels super easy. There's just so many powerful attacks that you get in the very beginning that make the game seem like a cakewalk. And then when you play as Riku for a quick boss fight, you see how much stronger you can get, and it just feels like these characters shouldn't be having any problems at all. With that in mind, just because it's been easy so far doesn't mean that I think that the combat is bad. It's floaty, and although the camera does bug out from time to time, making combat a little bit more difficult, it's not bad by any stretch to me. I do think that some of the platforming is a little too floaty though, but the different ways that you can get around from what I've seen so far are honestly pretty cool, and the gummy ship part of the game seems like a place that I'm gonna sink a whole lot of time into. So far I've been enjoying myself at least, and having a little simple RPG is something that I can always get behind. Also, those little Instagram posts that Sora puts up in the loading screens are kinda cute. What can I say? I'm not made out of stone. Finally, moving on to... oh my god. This is by far the most exciting game I've played in months, and I've loved every minute of it. I've already beaten the main game, and now I'm just trying to 100% this game now. I've already gotten
almost 50 hours
in this game, but I honestly don't even want to talk about this game's story or the gameplay too much, because this game warrants its own video. But let me tell you, any game that lets me do this, or this, I'm gonna fall in love with it. What I will say is that the story is cool, but I wouldn't say that it's amazing or anything. But it is better than a lot of other video game stories, so I'll definitely give it that. Kiryu as a character though is definitely up there now as one of my favorite video game characters, and while I can attribute some of that to recency bias, I think a lot of why I like Kiryu is because 1, he's immensely determined to do whatever he sets his mind to, and 2, he constantly has this frown that makes it look like he wants to fight anything that he locks eyes with. There's just so much to do in this game, from running a real estate business, running a cabaret, running from enemies because you got a sub-story to do and you can't be bothered. I mean, what game lets you hire bootleg Steven Spielberg and Michael Jackson to help you run your business? Come on man, this game is fucking amazing. I have never, in all my years of playing games, ever wanted to go to a karaoke bar to hear bangers, but this game made me do it. Again, I really don't want to spoil too much because it's just an amazing game, but I also don't know when I'd be able to put a full video out on it, so just take my word on it, or just play it yourself honestly, because this game is definitely in my top 10 right now. So what have you been playing this month? Let me know in the comment section below, don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching. Also, go play Yakuza 0, or any Yakuza for that matter.